Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. It's Michael. Today I want to talk to you about another folio from KCS Designs by Kim. About 2 weeks ago I made these folios that I shared on my YouTube and my Instagram. These are from the Journeys from Everywhere Trifold Junk Journal Folio Kit. If you haven't seen this, I'll leave a link below, but I had a little pull out here, and I used this die that I found on AliExpress to make this one. And then we have a back page here. This was the other one that I did. This was kind of my prototype. I'm not one of those people that can make something in front of you guys. I have to do it first. So anyway, Kim at KCS Designs has come out with a new folio. This one is called Library of Lost Stories. And it's a collection of, it's all for the reader, for books, pens and feathers and all that stuff. So I went and I made this folio using her new collection. Now it's pretty much the same way. It's got 2 outside pages and 4 inside pages for you to pick, and this would have been the same, except I added this page here by using part of the other cover. Have a little pull out here, some pockets, more pockets. This flips up for more pockets. So I'm going to show you guys how to do this today. And it's pretty simple, it's pretty quick, I hope. So I will have links to everything below. Just so you know, she's having a sale, 35% off everything in her store, everything in her Etsy store, July 25th and 26th. So if you want to get these folios, I would take advantage of the sale this weekend. Okay, so the folio. So you get 2 covers. You get a cover A and a cover B. You can pick which one you want. You also get 4 inside pages, okay? And you get a ton of ephemera, you get a ton of pockets, you get fussy cuts, you name it. So when you want the cover, you need to print the cover first, and then you need to print something on the opposite side. Like I did here, I printed this paper on the opposite side for my prototype, except I didn't realize until I had glued down a bunch of the pockets that I printed it upside down. So make sure that you are aware of which way your printer functions. And if you don't know, do a test with a piece of printer paper. But for these 2 covers, I basically did one of the neutral papers, so I didn't have to worry about a direction of any words or designs or anything like that. So I'm going to use, what did I use here? I used the books, so I'm going to use the same thing. So we're going to grab a scoreboard, okay, and we're going to put this on the scoreboard upside down. Okay, flip it over. And we're going to score at, I have my numbers here, 1 3/4 and 2 inches. And then we're going to scoot down to 5 5/8 and then 5 7/8. Okay, and I'm going to fold these back, and I'm going to burnish these in a second using some ink. So this will be our flap, is going to be over here like that. For the extra page, what I did was I grabbed the other cover, okay, and what you want to do is I'm going to cut from this edge 3 3/4 in, because we're going to adhere it on this side. So this way the 2 papers that I printed here are just going to keep blending in. So I'm going to cut this at 3 3/4. And now we're going to turn this over and we're going to need to cut that here. So we're going to score this piece, turn this piece over so the back side is here. And we're going to score at 1/4 of an inch. That's just 2 lines on the scoreboard. And then we're going to score at 3/8 of an inch, which is the 3rd line. It's not a big, huge gusset, but it does give us room when we add the ephemera and stuff like that into the folio. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with some 1/4 inch tape, and I'm just going to run it down the 1/4 inch section here that we scored. Gonna just cut this off. Now I'm just going to grab. I use Coffee Archival ink for this. You can use a vintage photo. You can use tea dye. This folio is actually very big with the blues, so you could even use a blue ink if you wanted to distress with a blue tone so that it matches the papers. I'm going to do both sides. I've really loved, this is a little bit out of my comfort zone, these folios, but I'm kind of channeling my mini album person and working it that way. And I spoke to Kim about this shape is already part of the digital collection. It's not a full sheet like this, but I did tell her my idea of how I'd like to use this for a small mini album. So she sent me the full sheet, and if I can get done what I have in my head, then she will probably release that one sheet to her Ko-Fi shop. And I don't know if you guys are aware of it, but she has a Ko-Fi shop that's KO-FI with a bunch of digitals on that page, and they're all free. You can pay her $1, $2, $5 if you wish to, but you don't have to. And it's just stuff that she doesn't have in her Etsy store. And a lot of it complements something that's already in her Etsy store. So it's a good place to go check out for some free digitals. Let me just finish this up here. Almost. Okay. Okay. So now I'm going to, we have this like this. We have this like this. So now I'm going to remove the tape backing here. And I'm just going to adhere this here, just that 1/4 inch line here. So now we have our, a little, I don't know if you could see this, like a 1/8 inch little gusset there. Okay, so continuing. So now on this side, I decided to use, now there are a lot of pockets, so you know, you don't have to do what I'm doing. You can do something completely different. That's fine. There are no rules here. The only thing that you do have to look at is, you know, these all print a little bit differently. Sometimes you score where you think the distressed line is. In my case here, like when this prints out, it's already printing with the distressed score line here, okay? But I scored on each side of that line because I wanted a gusset for the ephemera that's going to be on the inside. So before I adhere my pockets down, I always make sure to see if they will fit or if I may need to adjust my score line. This looks fine, so I'm just going to glue this down. I already have double-sided tape on this one. There are so many options with this kit, with both of the kits actually. This is my front. Okay, I'm just going to adhere this down here. And then I'm going to grab my bone folder, just burnish this down. Okay, so that's that pocket. Now for the center, we'll come back to work on this part here. The center, I have chosen this to be my main pocket, the back one. Then I decided on this in the front and this on top of this. So this is actually 3 pockets. But this is too big. No, I'm sorry. This will fit perfectly, but this is too big. Let me scoot in here a little bit. So as you can see, this pocket is going to fit here perfectly, but this pocket is a little too big here and a little too big here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my small, and I'm just going to line this up with this line here, and I'm going to score in a little bit. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to score here. I'm going to line up this score line here, and I'm just going to score here. Let's see. Let's see how this works. And you know what? Let's see if I can do this. I could actually wrap this around this now, and we'll glue it down that way. Okay, that works. That's good. That's good. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, what am I going to do? Let's first glue this down. So I have these 2 sides here. We're going to wrap it around this bottom pocket here, and we're going to glue all of this down. So it's going to add a little bit of bulk, but we could deal with that. Going to remove the tape here and here, just for now. And I'm just going to adhere this down. And the same thing on the bottom. You could also use white glue. Well, glue. Some glues come clear, so I shouldn't have said white glue. What I meant was like a craft glue that all of us use. Okay, so now I have this pocket on top of that pocket. And then this is going to fit, nope, let's fix this a little bit also. So I'm just going to adjust this just a smidge. That's going to be fine, but I'm going to adhere this one directly on top of this one. So let me just see if where's the scissor? Let me just fix this part here. Okay. Let's just distress. Where's my, we'll do that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to adhere this to the, oh, I didn't put any tape here. Okay, so I'm just going to add some tape here. I use a small little block here just to remove the excess. And we'll do the same thing on this side. Okay, let's take this tape off. Then we're going to pull in the folio. And I will just adhere this right to the center. It's a little bit smaller, but that's fine. Like I said, no rules. And then I'm going to take this one and I'm going to adhere it right down on top of this one. I don't have any tape here, so let's put some tape here. I'd love to know what you guys think of this. Love to know where you guys are watching from. Yes, I'm American, but if you're new here or watching this for the first time, I live in the countryside of São Paulo, Brazil. So, love to know where you guys are watching from. Whoop. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to glue this, adhere this down here. Okay, so now we got our 3 pockets. Just going to make sure that everything is, I just run a ruler down to the bottom to make sure that everything is, nothing's stuck. Okay. Now, for this side, I have this. Okay, so let me work on the tabs with you. So, going back to this front, going back to here to this front page, I made a little pull-out. So I used one of the papers from the collection. I just cut 2 pieces. My measurements on this is, let's see, 3.5 inches across by 6 1/8. So you do 3.5 by 6 1/8, and then you'll do another piece 3.5 by 6 5/8 because you need to have the, I'll show you here. So this is 3.5 by 6 1/8, and then here it's 3.5 by 6 5/8 because we need to score a 1/2 inch here so that we can attach our 2 pieces together. So I'm going to just add some of the score tape here. Take this off, and then I'm just going to make sure everything's going in the right direction. And I'm just going to adhere these 2 pieces together. So now, just to make sure this works, let's pull out our folio here, and it is just perfect. It sticks up a little bit, but that's okay. Okay. Gonna come back and just, your sizes might be different than mine, so definitely measure yours before you go and cut anything. If it is too big, if you cut, you could just cut off a 1/16 of an inch or an 1/8 of an inch if you wanted to go back in a easier fashion. Okay, so I think I'm going to do it this way. Okay, so we have this. So now, I'm going to put this back here. So now the ephemera. So for the ephemera here, what are we going to go with? I was going to go with, let's see. These are the tags. I cut everything and I trimmed everything and I distressed everything. Here I was going to go with, where is it? There's too much, favorites. I liked this idea of favorites. Or was I going to go with notes? It's really hard to decide which piece of ephemera to use because we have favorites, we have prologue, we have chapter. No, let's go with favorites. Which one is this? Notes. Okay, we're going to go with, yeah, let's go with notes. Okay, so with notes, you could either do notes on one side and favorites on the other if you wanted to. Oh, maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll do that. Okay, so what I did here is a little, it's just a little tuck spot, as we call it in the mini album world. So there's just a little piece of tape over here or glue, just so that you can tuck things in there and they will stay secure. So what I'm going to do is, I just want to make sure this is going to fold. I think I'm going to put some 1/4-inch tape just on the top flap. And maybe I'll do the other one also. Oh my gosh, I can't find anything on this desk. This is crazy. Okay, so I'm going to do this. So I have the tape just here at the top here, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to adhere this. Whoop. Okay, we'll adhere it there. So just adhere this here. I think I'm going to go with favorites on this side. So I'm going to do the same thing. Put a little piece of the score tape just at the top. Just want to fold back any tape that might be on the edge. And then we will eyeball this and put this here. So now we actually have, we could do tuck spot here. This can go right underneath here, like that. We can add other little fun ephemera here. Maybe a little ticket. Let's see. Okay, so that's done here. Another thing that this kit comes with is a set of 8 fussy cut images. And they have just a little bit of border around the edge. So if you're going to use a ScanNCut or a Silhouette or a Cricut to cut the images out, you have a really good way of, the machine will be able to see that border easy peasy and just cut the images out like this. What I did was, so this is done on plain white cardstock. This is done on sticker paper. So you can buy like the packages of like 8.5 by 11 or A4. It's a whole page and the backing is for stickers. So if you're making this for someone who loves stickers, you could do that. And then I fussy cut these, but you can use this with your ScanNCut or Silhouette. And there is a, let me find here. So there is a little bit of a difference in quality with the sticker paper. This is the sticker paper, but this is something else that you could just, let's do, how about this one? Just add this in here. and then your friend or you have a sticker that you can put into your planner or something like that. So I'm gonna keep these on the side. So now moving into this right pocket, this right side, I cut another piece here. This is 3 1/4 by 7 inches. I scored a 1/2 inch at the top, and I am just going to put a piece of tape here. And then I'll remove this, and we're just going to adhere this down to the top here. I'm just turning this over. It's easier to work with. Again, before you cut, make sure that you measure your own little flap. If you have a corner rounder, you can round the corners if you want, just so that you don't get those. I'll do it over here too. Okay, so now we have a little flap here. Okay, it is mine is white. If you print on both sides, you'll have a different design on the back side. I'm okay with the white because this way someone could write, or you could put photographs or something here. This is totally open for you. Here I'm going to add I don't know if I want to add this. This pocket's very big, so I think there is. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Let me look in the pockets here. Let me see what I have here. These are all the pockets that come in the kit. Oh, I wanted to include this too, maybe, or this one. Okay. I am confused. Okay. Maybe I cut this off up here. That's probably what I did. Okay, so this is much bigger here than this piece here, so I am going to score it to make it smaller. Where is my, here. So I'm going to just do it about 1/8 of an inch smaller on each side. And I'll just fix the corners in a second. So we scored in 1/8 on each side. Let's make sure this fits. This will fit. Okay. I need to fix the corners underneath. So you have to come into the new score line and then just score out. And the same thing here. Okay. I am going to add some tape here. And I'll add some tape on this side also. And on the bottom. You want your flaps not to be touching, so over here it's touching just a smidge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in, just remove a little bit. That's perfect. Now I'm going to just glue this onto this top of the flap here. You know what, no, I'm not going to do that. Okay, so I'm just going to adhere this down. Oh, I forgot to distress the sides, but that's okay. That's okay. We can do it now. Okay, so now we have another pocket over here. Slipping into the top here are, where's the ephemera? Let's see what we have here. I was thinking, in my prototype, I have this small pocket here. I was thinking to add this big pocket, but that might be too much. So I think I will stick with adding the smaller pocket, but I'm going to go in the opposite direction. I think I'm going to score this just a little bit on this side so that it just fits a little bit more. I don't want it to. Okay, let's see how this looks. Yeah, that's much better. So let me grab a different. Where's my insert? There it is. Okay. Just going to fix the binding here. I will remember to distress that. And then we will just add some tape. Okay. I'm just going to fold back the excess tape because we don't want that sticking on the inside of the pockets. And then we're just going to adhere this down here. And here I have some of the ephemera. This is one of the pockets that comes with the kit. This is one of them, so it folds like that. This is another one. Didn't realize that it's blank on this side. So I think, can we add it here? We can even add it there in the center. That's kind of cool. Okay, let's do that. I like this one better. Nope, too many postmarks. Okay, we'll do it this way. Okay, so now we have a pocket, a pocket, a pocket, and a little flap with a pocket inside the pocket, which I am all for. Here I wanted to try to hide this. So I'm looking through the ephemera here. Let's add some of the ephemera here that comes in the, just for some fun stuff here. This I think is too small. This, I think we could do that. It's not going to cover the whole thing. I want to use these. So let's keep that out. Archived. Here's another one of the fussy cuts. We could do, no. Okay, let's just try to cover that a little bit. So I'm just going to use one of the pieces of ephemera. We're going to just put this, a piece of tape on the top. And that way it'll just hide the white up here just a little bit, but it does give us another another place to kind of add a I don't know. I don't know. Okay, that's fine. So we have this here. We have that here on the front. I loved the idea of using these little pieces on the front to add even another pocket. And what I did here is, instead of using tape on this, I ended up using just a dab of white glue, because it could be clear, on the 3 points, okay? And then I'm just going to glue this here and let this set for just a moment. Let's move this up. Now I did it over here also, but we have that little thing. Okay, we could do that also. So let's do, again, 3 little dabs. And we'll just glue this down here. Because now we have another pocket for some fussy. I have a feeling this is, you know what? Let's put it up here. Because up here, okay, that works perfect. That works perfect. Now, while this is all drying, let's add some more ephemera and stuff. So some of the pieces are much longer, so I'm going to put those in the longer, the deeper pockets. Here, this is for, there's one bookmark in this kit, and I punched a hole with my crocodile, and I added a eyelet. I'm just going to add a piece of ribbon. What do I want to do? What do I want to do? Blue? Red? I don't know if red goes. Red doesn't go. How about blue? Let's just do a little piece of blue. So I'm going to cut a piece of the ribbon. I'm going to fold it in half. I'm going to scoot it through this eyelet and then just feed the 2 tails through the folded pocket, and we'll do that. Now we do have to trim this off a little bit, I think. Okay. Or we could just, let's trim it off a little bit. Okay. So there are other things in here. You could turn this into a bookmark also, but we're just going to leave that one there. Here on the front, what I did was I went and I added, there's a really cool, okay, so we have a ladder. So I'm going to add that here. This is one of the stickers. And then have a magnifying glass that I loved slipping through here. So this is why I only glued down the 3 little corners here, because then you could slip this into it like that. Let's see, what else do we have here? We have the mail. That's kind of cool. Slip that in here like that. No, maybe we'll put the mail here. What else? What else? What else? So we got this little, we have that. We have some tickets. I have another ticket here to hold this stuff down. And this I'm leaving alone because someone can put more stuff in there. We have this. Let's see, is this going to be too much? Nope, I think that's fine. Then, let me make sure here, underneath we have our little pocket with some, let's add something else here. There's so much to add. I mean, you could even add, this is one of the pieces of ephemera. Okay, you can add this to the front and have it as a pocket. This is one of the pieces of the ephemera that you can put tape on 3 sides and use this as a pocket. It didn't, oh, I could have used it here, but it's too late now. Really, once you cut the ephemera out and you see everything that's in this collection, the hardest part is trying to figure out what to use where, because you want to use it all. Now, to finish this off, we're going to fold that over. We're going to fold it this way. So now we want to just include a little closure here. You could cut a hole with the crocodile and add an eyelet and some ribbon and have it run around. I am using 2 pieces of Velcro. I have these 2 little Velcro circles. So what I'm going to do is just kind of in the center, put it down there. I'm going to remove this other side. I'm going to try to remove the other side. Okay. And then I'm just going to close it like that. If you have both folios, the Journeys folio in the ephemera, that comes with these cool, like a wax seal type thing. So I did the same thing on this one with the Velcro, but I added a little wax seal on the front to show where the Velcro is. I don't have that in here, but you could use a circle punch and punch something out. I'm going to leave it the way it is. And we're basically done. My version, of course, you could make your own little version, but we added this back page here. We add a little flap here. On the front here, we added this pull out. So this pulls out of the pocket. Here we have the 3 pockets, plus this little coin kind of purse thing that we slipped in here for like another pocket. Lots of ephemera. When this, okay, so here, let's add these 2 little tags here. So again, these are little tags that I just punched a hole and I put some ribbon through. So you could do that. We can add another tag here, but let's leave this alone for now. Okay, I'm done. It's finished. Just make sure that everything closes. I love this. I think anyone that gets this will love it. Anyone that loves junk journals or little things like this, I think it's so cool. Anyway, this is, again, the Library of Lost Stories. This one is the Journeys from Everywhere. They're both Trifold digital junk journal folios on the KCS Designs by Kim Etsy shop. Links for everything will be below. Remember, this weekend, the 25th and 26th, it's 35% off everything in her Etsy store. No coupon needed. Everything will be already marked down at that price. So thank you so much, everyone, for sticking with me for this 45 minutes or so. Not too bad. I would love to know what you guys think of this. So give me a like, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment. And until next time, please stay safe wherever you are in the world. And I'll see you again here very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.